Hello friends, Mark Lanier here with a quick message during this COVIDian crisis. Just a daily upkeep. I was doing it in my quiet time this morning and I was reading the resurrection account in the Gospel of John. And Mary is in the garden. Jesus has been resurrected. She doesn't recognize him. She thinks he may be the gardener and doesn't recognize him until Jesus calls her name. He says, Mary, and she says, Rabboni, which in Aramaic means my teacher. And Jesus calling her name seemed to be the key for her to recognize him. And that spoke to me in a couple of ways right now in the midst of all of the COVIDian pandemic and the stresses of life right now. Number one, Jesus knows your name. Doesn't matter what you're going through. Doesn't matter if you're having a great day or a bad day. It is useful to remember, Jesus knows your name. He cares about you as an individual. Humanity's not just a big collective blob he cares for. He cares about each one of us. You are on his mind, and the key is, do we hear him when he calls our name? Mary heard him, turns around and says, my teacher. It's reminiscent of John 10 in the early verses 3 and 4. Jesus talked about how the shepherd calls his sheep and they recognize his voice. He calls them by name and they know who he is and they follow him. That's kind of our end of this. Right now, in the midst of everything going on today, to understand and recognize Jesus, God, knows who you are, what you're going through, knows you by name, and is calling you by name. And all we need to do is hear his call and follow his lead. And with that, we can trust everything's going to work out. I'll try to share these here and there. Don't forget to pass these on if you know anybody who might be blessed by them. But may God bless each of you during this time.